Hello everybody. In the previous video, we had discussed about reduction in the amount of salt you take for getting rid of your edema or your swelling or replacing sea salt with rock salt. As to how every salt molecule clings on to water molecules, and reduction in the content or replacing the salt can help in reduction in your swelling or edema if you have rheumatoid arthritis or a swelling due to any reason by at least 20% in the first week of your management of the swelling itself. Now, what are the other tastes which cause hindrances in your body and which causes retention of water in the body? So, you all would be aware that there are six tastes in our food, right? Especially Indians. You would have learned in your KG, right? Or in your first standard or second standard. What are the six tastes? Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, astringent, and spicy, which we call in Sanskrit as Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Katu, Tikta, and Kashaya. In Tamil, we call it as Inippu, Pulippu, Uppu, Karam, Kasappu, and Tuvarppu. Okay, these six tastes you must have it exactly in your mind. Very, very important secret with which we Ayurveda doctors practice. So, in the first three tastes, which is Inippu, Pulippu, Uppu, or sweet, sour, and salty, or Madhura, Amla, Lavana. Okay, have it in mind. These three tastes increase kapha quotient in your body by its natural tendency. Sweet, sour, and salty. Yesterday we had discussed about salty as to how salt naturally holds on to water, which Ayurveda tells that as it increases kapha, which modern science tells that it holds on to a water molecule. What are the other two tastes which Ayurveda tells that can increase your kapha? Sweet and sour. Salt we have discussed already. So sweet and sour also have the tendency to hold on to water or to create or produces water. How is it possible? Okay, let us discuss the concept of sweet alone today. What are sweet in our food? Yes, of course, sugar. Then jaggery, all the fruits, right? These all have visible sugars. Then what else do you have every day in your food? Rice and wheat, all the grains which we call as carbohydrates in modern science, they also come under this category of sweet as told in text, and even modern science tells that carbohydrates gets broken down into sugars of different, it could be polysaccharide or monosaccharides, right? Though, and the fruits contain fructose, and milk also comes under this category, and it also has sugar as sucrose or galactose, right? So these all come under the category of sweet or maduram or inippu chuvari, and these have the tendency to increase kapha dosha, and as swelling itself is a condition where kapham is increased in your body, you have to take all these foods in moderation, or if you have a severe condition you can go off these foods or have these foods processed with certain spices by which the tendency of them increasing the kapham reduce. Do you understand? At last the patients get upset. Doctor, what do you expect us to eat? Is the question of surprise and shock which we come across every day. Don't worry. I am just teaching you the concepts. Have them in their mind. When you eat, when you know that this food can cause this issue, you will immediately reduce the quantity of the food or go for better replacements. So as homemakers, you may be a woman or a male homemaker in 21st century. It's a responsibility of you to understand the concept and pass it on to the next generation. So what can increase the kapham in your everyday food? Rice, wheat, which are complex carbohydrates, milk, and fruits. Direct consumption of sugar and jaggery and its variants and honey. These all can increase the sugary taste in your body and the quotient in the body. While honey alone is an exception according to Ayurveda. So if you're suffering from edema due to any reason, why is it so? Why does Ayurveda tell that Sugar increases edema. Why not? It is an observation and you will be amazed to know what is the formula of any sugar. Carbohydrate, we've all learnt in our 6th standard or 4th standard, right? C6H12O6, right? If you're going to reduce it, it will be C and H12O6, right? H is 2 and O will be 1, which is nothing but H2O. So every carbohydrate itself has got a water molecule inside. And when in breakdown of the carbohydrate molecule, when energy is produced, with every energy, in the ATP synthesis, you will also know that water molecule is produced. So what's happening when you eat rice? Eat rice or wheat or any carb or maybe milk or your fruits or anything which is sugary, jaggery or even your palm jaggery, these all are going to go inside the body, break down, and by its nature, its effect itself is to produce a water molecule. Then give up food. Is it possible to give up food? No way. We can't live without food, right? But there are people who have this capacity. If you're going to go on fasting, Langanam Parama Aushadam is the Ayurveda mantram and sutram, right? We have come across many people in the internet who claim that they've got rid of cancerous cells by fasting for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? There is a systematic way to fast. If we do not have the capacity, if you're going to have edema, and especially in case of rheumatoid arthritis or in any other edematous swelling, have in mind to cut down the quantity of carbs which you take in the first few weeks. Number one, by which in the morning, instead of having a full plate of idli, dosa, puri, chapati in the first week, reduce the quantity and have a glass of kanji or gruel. I'm very sure men will run away from this YouTube video on listening to the concept of drinking kanji, right? So you can have some replacement like a ragi dosa. It's okay. Always remember that millets are less in carbs and more of proteins, and millets by nature, according to Ayurveda, are not as sweet as rice and wheat and are more of the kashayam or the astringent nature, which means which have the quality of absorption of water from your body itself. That is why people who take millets, many would be constipated, and you have to take in more of oil and water if you're going to take millets. You can't have comfortable digestion or passing of bowels if you're going to take millets. So, in the first few weeks when you're going to have a swelling, a condition with swelling, say as in rheumatoid arthritis, cut down on your carbs and replace it with millets. That's one way. Cut down on the quantity by taking gruel or add more of colored grains like red rice or black rice. Make it into korukattai, make it into dosa, make it into pudding, make it into roti like adai, which we call in Kerala, right? Rice adai out of red rice or black rice. And upma you can have of colored grains. Why colored grains? In colored grains, the amount of carbs come down, right? You have the husk of it, the brown or black husk of it. So the fiber increases, the roughage increases. That is what happens with millets also. Millets, if you take a ragi grain and examine, the grain will be full of fiber, right? Round one with fiber. Inside there are carbs with lesser carbs and more of protein in them, right? So that is why ragi, samai or millets or gudravali or cholam, jowar, bajra and barley. These are all very, very good grains. These millets and barley have the tendency to absorb excess water from your body. Why? Because we've already understood that carbohydrate C6H12O6 on breaking is going to give sugar, and these grains are not going to break down and give rise to more of sugar and water because they themselves are by nature having more protein. So in next point, after reduction or replacement of salt with a proper rock salt, aim at reduction of consumption of carbs and sugars by proper replacements or by changing the way you process the food or by consumption in moderation. This is for today. Next video we will discuss about the next taste, which is we've discussed about salt, sweet, and next is sour taste or amlam or pulp. Have a very nice day.